Good morning and welcome to the show. This is In Touch and I am Beth, your hostess. In Touch is our weekly half-hour public affairs show, which means at the end of the program today, if you are a member of a nonprofit group organization, if you are a company here in the Hudson Valley helping out a nonprofit group organization, I'd love to have you on the show to talk about what is important to you, what your organization does for the area of the Hudson Valley, for Orange County, for Sullivan County. And at the end of the show, I'll have a myriad of ways for you to get a hold of me. So let me turn on microphones. Let me also say that this is pre-recorded. And whatever station you're listening to this morning, you can head to that website and you can get the complete show so you can listen to it at will and maybe find a portion that you may have a question about or need more information. In addition, in the article of which the copy of this interview will be, we'll have links to websites, Facebook pages, Twitter feeds, whatever we're going to be talking about today, we will have all that for you. So let me introduce to you my guests. We have Michelle Hathaway, who is the Director of Development at Greystone Programs. So Michelle, it's very nice to see you again. Nice to have you here.
Good morning, Beth.
So it's very cool that you're here. And we have Marie Nestor, who is here, Division Director for Greystone Programs. So Marie, it's nice to have you as well.
Thank you.
So this is Greystone Programs. And Michelle, we were talking about this before. You'd been on the program in some of the other events that you help out throughout the community. So it's nice to have you here talking about Greystone Programs, because I think this is the first time that Greystone Programs we've had on In Touch.
Yes.
So let's kind of build what I call a foundation. People may say, oh, I've heard of that. But typically when people say, oh, I've heard of that, they may not really know everything that goes on and what it is that you guys do and what you're striving to do and the work you do in the community. So kind of get us up to speed, the Greystone Programs.
All right. Greystone Programs is a nonprofit human services agency based here in Poughkeepsie. And we provide exceptional services and life-enriching opportunities for children, adults, and families in 5 counties of the Hudson Valley who are living with autism and other developmental disabilities. We have residential programs, commonly referred to as group homes. We have 13 of those homes in 3 different counties. Wow. And we also offer non-residential programs, which are more community-based, which would include things like after-school programs, social skills programs, what in our industry is called dehabilitation. So we have, for example, a program here called Project Fame, where we have adults who are living with autism and disabilities. They come to us in the mornings and they go out into the community and perform a variety of volunteer services. Oftentimes these are things that people don't want to do out in the community. Many people are overworked and don't have the time to do these types of community services, but our folks will go out and deliver Meals on Wheels to nice. Shut-ins and the elderly. And they go to local libraries, for example, and help sort and shelve the books. Mm-hmm. They'll go to the animal shelters and socialize the animals so that then those pets can become adoptable. And these really help our individuals form meaningful relationships in the community and be looked at as valuable and productive members of society.
Wow. Okay, so we could do a show
We
could do a show on every one of those areas. I saw the look on both your faces when I said this is 30 minutes and I went, "Oh, it'll go by." And I'm sitting here going, "Oh yeah, we have no problem." We have no problem. My goodness, how long has Greystone Programs been doing all of this work?
Greystone started in 1979 under the direction of our founder Mark Kelly. Who believed passionately that people with autism could thrive if given the opportunity to live in comfortable, enriching homes rather than institutions. At the time, children with autism and disabilities weren't even allowed to go to public schools. And people with these sorts of intellectual disabilities often lived in institutions and, under deplorable conditions. And that came out through first President Robert Kennedy went to Willowbrook, which was an institution on Long Island, and he spoke out about the situations that he saw there. And then it really became in the limelight with Geraldo Rivera's documentary. And then Geraldo's, program aimed to incite change, to improve the conditions for really our most fragile members of society that had no one to represent them and speak out for them.
Right.
So Mark Kelly believed passionately that people with autism could thrive if taken out of those institutions and instead given the opportunity to live in a group home as a family, as a neighbor in the community. And that's really what Greystone has done a phenomenal job with.
And it's also educating the community around it as to what does it mean with autism. Now there's the autism spectrum. I mean, I remember, growing up, autism was almost whispered, like as if, it was almost whispered like cancer was whispered. And then as you educate and then you inform people, and then it just seems to me every year there's more and more and more information, to where there was the autism spectrum. People are at different points on that. It's not all the same.
Right.
My husband, who works for the county and will work with children, will say, poison ivy, some people get it a lot, some people get it a little bit. It just varies. It's a very rough analogy, but you kind of get a little bit of an idea. And I think educating others and educating people, I think it makes for a better community. And I always thought that a society is judged by how well they take care of those that cannot take care of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're not doing a good job with that, then you really need to look at it.
Absolutely.
You absolutely
Couldn't
need to
agree
look
with
at
you
it
more.
Yep.
So you've really got to. So Maureen, let's bring you into this. When you say Division Director for Greystone Programs, what does that mean?
What that means is I work with the teams in each residence.
Okay.
So I oversee several houses, and there's a team of people within those residences, the group homes. The manager, the direct support professionals, and they're really the hub of the whole home. And ensuring that the individuals who live in the residences really have everything that they need to enhance their lives, to live a full life.
Right.
And basically each person in the house, in the home, is treated as an individual. It's not, all for one for all. It's literally looking at the individual and bringing them in. They're the center of the team. They're the ones who matter, and we focus all of our attention on them and whatever they want, what their hopes and dreams are, like what they want for their life.
Right.
And we do the very best we can. I think we do a great job at it at Greystone Programs of providing that and giving them that. We have one of our individuals who actually sits on the board of directors at Greystone Programs. Yep.
That's great.
And she wanted to participate in karaoke. And, and she that's what she wanted. She just wanted to do that. And we were like, okay, so we could have done that at home. We have karaoke machines in the residences too, whatever they want. But she really wanted to go locally. She wanted to really participate with the community. And not just with people with disabilities. She wanted to be around, the general population community, which she's a member of.
Right.
And so she regularly goes to Mahoney's every week. And
I would be scared to death to do that. Can I just tell you? I'm sweating hearing that she was... Okay, go ahead.
And
I could never.
But she loves it. And, in the past, she's performed at the Chance with, one of our musical instructors who comes in. And she just wanted to be part of all of that. But the great thing about it is that if she doesn't go, she's missed, and they wonder where she is. And that's what it's all about. It's really just really just incorporating everything together and making sure that, you know, the general community understands and sees our individuals as just, you know, an extension of them, you know, and you know, and that's you know, to bring them in and welcome them in and not be scared and not be in any way sort of tentative about, oh, you know, because they're just like us, you know, the individuals with disabilities are just like us. They just take a little bit longer sometimes to figure things out, but
and you could almost say we all have something. We all have quirks. We all have moments that may not be that attractive if everybody knew about them. I mean, we all do. I think it's very powerful. My nephew was diagnosed with Asperger's, and you know, just looking at his progress and how people treat him and how he treats other people, and you get it from a different perspective.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at it in a different way. And so I've learned a lot through that process, even though they do not live nearby, but I've learned a lot looking at that. And I was lucky enough to have talked with many folks in different organizations. So I saw it as a member of the community. And like I said, it's important to be a community. Everybody. Everybody makes it up. And I've always felt that way. But then when you see, like when my nephew was diagnosed, that people changed, and some people, they didn't know what to do. And then you get a little nervous. And I have to admit, our family were like, okay, is there anything we shouldn't do? And then I was like, okay, well, that's a bad way to start, because you're starting off negative. Like, what should you not do? Like, maybe we need to rephrase that. Maybe we need to look at that. But I love the fact that she goes out and is a member of community. That's what she wants to do. And everyone else does it. So why can't she?
Exactly.
I would never have the guts to do that. I'm just going to tell you that. But with the homes now, with the group homes, are there folks in those homes, like as you say, the different developmental disabilities, and Marie, you handle the teams in your homes. Are there individuals at homes that have different disabilities, or are they all kind of like, is there a home where everyone is on about the same part of the spectrum, or may it just be in different, bless you.
Some of our homes, yes, some of our homes are primarily, the primary diagnosis for the individuals is autism.
Okay.
But in many of our homes, it's a multitude of disabilities.
Okay.
So ranging from, you know, intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, and also on the spectrum. Autism.
And that way everybody is learning, even with them inside the home, that everyone has a different issue, that everyone has something different to deal with. And so there's learning going on in there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, wow.
We have one home out in Orange County that is specifically for young men with autism. Many have lived there since, they all have lived there since they were children. And as you can imagine, as they get older, there's more behaviors and things like that.
Right.
So that home specifically deals with young men and the issues with their autism, and just was becoming adolescents and growing into manhood, and, you know, also wanting to fit in with sports and things like that. And then we have a few homes that are what's called universally designed to accommodate people who use wheelchairs. So, for example, the countertops will be lower, the appliances will be lower, so that they can really be as independent and productive in their own homes.
Right.
So they, you know, it's not the staff unloading the dishwasher or preparing the meals. The individuals who live there, this is their home, and they want to feel like they're contributing. And we've got cooking lessons in the home, all kinds of wonderful things.
So, like you said, it's really for the individual to live a life.
Yes, absolutely.
To live a life.
Yes.
So whatever their interest is, whether it's karaoke, whether it's reading, just like you know, the people that I work with, we all have a varied interest. We all have different things that we do. We all have our job. And we all have our hobbies. And I think that that's valuable for anyone to be able to have that. You know, something you talked about when we began, Michelle, you talked about the fact that there's after school programs.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. Is that for students who have been diagnosed who are in the public school that come, or is it? Because I think of after school programs, I think sometimes of staying to get some extra help with work, with school. There's a myriad of different definitions for that. And with Greystone, what would that be?
Yes, we have kids that come from public school to the Annette Heslin Community Center in Wappingers Falls, and they get help with homework, and there's also enriching programs like art therapy and things like that. And I think Marie can probably speak better about that than me.
Yeah, it's a great program, and when the children come off the buses from schools, they're also individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism.
That was one of my questions, right?
Yeah,
okay.
They are, and they come in and obviously help with their homework and also social skills, and it's really sort of an early intervention to help and assist them, enhance their lives, and it helps the families too. Of the children, to really gives them a good support, a good base for them, for their children. It's not just, they don't just come in and run around, and it's very structured for them, and offered a lot of different activities offered there. And the extension of that is twice a month there is a respite program. So what that is a program, and it's held 2 Saturdays a month. The Greystone runs this, and it's an all-day program. Starts at 9, finishes at 5. And this is really a day for the children, again, on the spectrum with intellectual disabilities also, to come in and spend the day. Again, it's more of a fun day, though. That's a fun day. They're out there in the community doing different things with the staff. And it gives the parents a day to just do what they need to do. Just go shopping, or go for a manicure, or just, or
maybe spend time with another child that they might have that doesn't have these sort of special needs.
Yeah, and it's a great program, and the parents love it, and it's absolutely right what Michelle said. Like, they, many times just want to go for a bike ride with their children who don't have an intellectual or physical disability, and it gives them that time to do that. So
we have a friend that there's one child has autism and other children are not, and so there's that struggle, because you want to make sure that everyone gets attention and everyone knows that they're important and that they are loved, but sometimes that may be hard to do in splitting of the time, depending.
Absolutely.
That's not always easy, so that's great. That twice a month?
Twice a month, yes.
There is that? That's very powerful.
And, we only mentioned that we offer these programs in Dutchess County, but we also have a program similar with the after-school program and the respite programs in Orange County also.
Great.
So I know you have listeners in different counties. Yeah. So although we are based in Dutchess County here in Poughkeepsie, we cover 5 counties, and we've got lots of great programs for lots of families. Well,
let me ask you this. It's a perfect into my next question. If anyone is listening this morning and maybe they go, you know what, I need to talk to somebody. I need some help. Maybe that after school program is something that they're of interest in, or maybe their child has just been diagnosed and they're not 100% sure. What's a number that they can call to get a hold of? And I know that we'll have this in the article, but a number that people could call.
They can call 845-452-5772.
Okay.
And the website is greystoneprograms.org. And we are on Facebook and Twitter.
Look at you guys. Like, sometimes I ask that question, people go, we're almost there. We're not there yet. Or they tell me before we turn on the microphones, please don't ask about Twitter. I'm like, okay. I will not ask about that.
No, we are moving and grooving at Greystone, trying to get the word out about the wonderful services that we offer, which is very important, because now there are 1 in 68 American children diagnosed with autism. And of those, 1 in 42 are boys. And boys are 5 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than girls. So this is, it's very prevalent, and it's not going away. There's been more than 100% increase in the last decade. Mm-hmm. And so there are families that need our services, and we want your listeners to know that we are here to help.
Now, let me ask this question. I'm going to ask it. And I should have prefaced this by saying, before we turn the microphones, I will always ask a stupid question, and this may be it. Okay. In terms of payment, you guys, there's a lot of great programs. How can the community help you guys out? Is there a way that people can donate? Is there a way that people can volunteer? What do you guys need from the community to be able to keep serving? Because as you said, the numbers are increasing. Mm-hmm. The services are needed. Yes. There's going to be more individuals and more families that you guys can help. But you got to pay for it. Yes. Somehow. So what can the community do?
Most of the basic living needs and the medical needs of our individuals, families receive through Medicaid support. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there are things, many programs and services that we offer that are not. Right. For example, we pride ourselves in offering a pretty wide range of what's called expressive arts and therapies. Mm-hmm. Those would include things like wheelchair yoga and Zumba to get our people who use wheelchairs physically active so that they don't become weak and frail. Right. We also have art therapy, where we have artists come in and work in groups of people, and they create beautiful, beautiful artwork. We have piano lessons, chorus lessons.
I love that. I love that.
Drumming.
Music.
Yeah. This is how Sylvia picked up her karaoke interest,
yes, absolutely.
And so we do have primarily our major fundraiser for the year is our International Wine Showcase and Auction, which we've been doing for 26 years. Wow. We had it was September 20th. And that raises most of the money that we use for expressive arts and therapies and other things. I should also say that a portion of the proceeds from that event and our other fundraisers might go for assistive communication technology. Like many times people with autism are nonverbal, but they are able to communicate through, say, the use of iPads with special apps. Okay. That they can touch pictures and communicate with. The iPad will then speak the words for them. Oh, cool. Or sometimes people can even use keyboards to type. And I think one of the important things to remember when dealing with a person with autism who may be nonverbal is that you should always presume intellect. Just because they may not speak doesn't mean they don't know that you're talking about them. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't talk about them. You should try to find ways to include them in the conversations. Right. So, for example, there's a woman that participates in one of our programs that I would see every morning. And I would say, "Good morning, how are you?" And she just looked at me with this blank sort of gaze, like looking through me, or not even looking in my direction at all. And I would think, I don't think she really likes me, or she doesn't really care if I'm here or not. And then one day I passed her the room and someone was holding out and she could communicate. She was typing words and she knew clearly what she wanted to say. Yeah. She just needed more time to respond. Got it. Than I initially was willing to give.
I like how you said always presume intellect.
Yes, very important.
Yes,
always.
Definitely, yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice if we did that to everybody? Mm-hmm. Whether anyone was autistic
Absolutely.
or not. We should all presume
General
intellect.
Good rule of thumb.
With anyone that we talk to.
Absolutely.
That's just my own 2 cents there. What about, I love this. I love the fact of expressive arts. I love the fact that there's all these different programs. Is there a way, I understand that you guys just finished up the International Wine Auction. Is there a way that folks can go on your website and find out ways to help out or volunteer or whatever?
Absolutely.
Whatever you need.
There's a button to donate. Okay. You can learn more about, you can either donate through PayPal, or you can print out a form and mail it in with your check, or you can donate with a credit card. Okay. And actually, even though our wine event is over, we do have an event coming up this Saturday. We have a local brewery in Wappingers Falls that is creating a special Greystone beer. So they're making a whole vat of this amber ale, and they are donating the proceeds from the whole batch to Greystone Programs. So that's North River Hops and Brewing in Wappingers Falls. And the event is this Saturday, October 10th, from 5 to 9 p.m. It's a tiny place, but we're inviting people to stop in and sample the beer, learn a little bit about Greystone, ask a few questions, and then they can carry on to their normal weekend activities.
So this is a nice example of maybe someone coming forward and saying, this is what I'd like to help, or maybe Michelle, you going and saying, hey, how would you like to do this? Because it's always great to find fun events that everybody likes to come to that then would help out the program.
Absolutely. So we've got lots of ways.
Yeah. So if anybody has an idea, they should. Michelle's like, we have lots of ways. Just call and talk to me. That's all you have to do is call and talk to Michelle.
Maria and I are always happy to talk about Greystone.
Oh, always. Absolutely.
Well, I have to say, and this is the one bad side of talking on air, is no one can see your eyes when both of you speak. And when both of you speak about the program, you can see it. You can see it in both of your eyes when you talk about the individuals that are helped, the families that are helped. And Marie, the story of the karaoke story, your eyes just lit up. I mean, and that to me is very powerful, because it is one thing to work with an organization. It is another thing to work there and to really care and to get it and to really, really work there, not just punch in, punch out, I'm done.
Absolutely.
You guys are not that. Not that at all.
No, and I think that's
powerful.
The majority of our staff is
not either. And I think that's important when people think about where to put their money. They work hard for their money. To me, if you have an organization where people are passionate about it, this is what they do. They're going to help individuals. They're going to help families. Then to me, this goes on the list. You say, yes, Greystone Programs. Absolutely. I'm going to the website. I'm going to donate. And that's what I think is important. Is that people know that even though they can't see you, I can see you guys, and you guys are really passionate about what you do, and keeping Greystone Programs going.
Yes. The support is very much appreciated, and we welcome the support from the community so that we can continue to grow our programs.
Exactly.
Yes.
We've got another program we're starting. It's called Pathway to Employment, and this is specifically geared towards people who are aging out of school but not quite yet ready to go out into the employment field. So we will teach them skills so that they can go out and obtain jobs where they'll earn at least minimum wage, if not more, and not have to go anymore to these what's been called sheltered workshops in the past, doing, uninspiring piecemeal work, putting little things together. They're going to go out and connect with real people in the community and earn a decent wage.
Right.
Which
is a
there are
great
plenty
gift
of
to
jobs
give.
that they can do and be valued and productive, not only for the community but for themselves.
And everyone deserves that.
Absolutely.
Everyone absolutely deserves that, to find something, because none of us want to put things in envelopes forever and hours on end and do those things. That's not it.
That's the way of the past.
Right, exactly. So that is tremendous. So believe it or not, we have a minute and a half left. I knew that you guys at first were like 30 minutes, we'll never get through it. See, I told you guys are going to have to come back so you can talk about new programs. So Marie, some final thoughts, closing comments you'd like to leave with folks this morning.
Just to be accepting of the individuals and just really welcome them into the community because they're part of it.
Right.
Many of the individuals who live in Wappingers and Poughkeepsie and in Ulster and Orange County, they want to live there. They want to be part of everything that we're all part of. And it's great. It's a great place to live. The Hudson Valley is a great place to live. And, they're just members of our community, and just welcome them. That's the only thing I can ask.
Very cool. Michelle, some closing comments.
Going back to my always presume intellect.
Yeah.
I really can just echo what Marie says. And I invite your listeners to come learn more about Greystone because we have wonderful services to offer the community. And we're opening a new house in Plattekill in Ulster County. So we are looking for people to fill that house and make it a home.
Okay. So again, the phone number is 845-452-5772. And it's greystoneprograms.org.
You got it.
And we will have this in the article just in case someone is running around this morning and you're like, I didn't write any of this down. Don't worry. Whatever station you're listening to this morning, just head to the website. Michelle and Marie, thank you guys very, very much for being willing to put yourselves behind the microphone. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yes. And you'll come back.
Sure will.
We've already decided that. So there it is. And thanks to all of you for being with us this morning. Hopefully there's something that you've learned that you can take away with for your day. As I mentioned, whatever station you're listening to this morning, just go to the website, search In Touch, and you will find this program as well as the links to everything we talked about, Facebook and Twitter, as well as the website. If you'd like to be on the show and talk about what's important to you, here's how you can get a hold of me. 845-471-1500. Extension 159 is my number. My email is beth.christy@townsquaremedia.com. I am on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Yeah, a lot of things. So you can find me. Take care of yourself and those you love, and we'll see you right here next week.